Paranormies, welcome back to the light side of the paranormal. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about past life regression. So for those of you who don't know what past life regression is, essentially it is when a person goes into a meditative or a hypnotic state, usually guided by somebody else, and they are taken back into their memories of their lives before this one. So that goes hand in hand kind of with the belief that we have been reincarnated and that we live multiple lifetimes. So during a past life regression, you might be taken back to any number of lives, not just your one and only past specific life. Although for some people who are newer souls, they may only have one past life. But I think for a lot of people there are multiple past lives, and you can do this more than once and see different past lives that you have experienced. With that being said, there is a very large attraction right now to one specific YouTube video of a guided past life regression, and that is the past life regression guided by Weiss. I believe that's how you say his last name. And so he has got a past life regression guided meditation video on YouTube. This is a recording of something that he did in kind of like an amphitheater style situation, and a bunch of people in the audience were invited to close their eyes and listen and have this regression as well as the viewers watching. I think it's about like 35 minutes long, and it's free to watch on YouTube. I will put the link of the one specific video that I watched down below, just because some of the other videos have ads, and when you're deep within meditation and an ad pops in, it can really be very jarring. So, and it kind of just snaps you out of the whole experience that you're having. So I managed to find a version that has no ads, so I will link that in the description below, and big thank you to the creator of that video for leaving the ads out. So this is the first time that I have ever done a past life regression meditation or any type of past life regression. I've always wanted to do it in person with the person who is guiding me through the meditation, but since, you know, we're kind of limited now in the things that we can do, I saw that there was so much talk about this Weiss video on TikTok. I heard a few people speak about it on podcasts and YouTube videos, so I thought, okay, if I'm gonna do any of them, it's gonna be this one. So I really kick myself now for not setting this camera up and taking a video of me while I was doing this. Not that it would be that eventful, but I really was very skeptical about the experience that I would have, and I thought that it wouldn't make good content. Not that I think what I'm about to tell you, my experiences, is super great content, but it's enough to talk about. I should have recorded that. Anyway, I was on my bed, lying down, all my blankets on. I lit a candle and I had my earbuds in, and you know, no distractions, pets, kids, husband, none of that. So you follow what he says. He's got a very calm and relaxing voice, and so he just kind of relaxes you, and then at first you are taken back to a memory of when you were a child, and this was already a memory that I had had. I don't know why and for what reason I was brought back to that specific memory, but it was a very happy memory, and it was something that I could remember off the cuff. It's not something that I had forgotten about, but there was details about it that I was able to retrieve back that I had forgotten over time. So it was a memory with my best friend, and I could not only remember the memory like normal, but I could remember what she was wearing. I could remember how she was wearing her hair, and the contrast in comparison to, it's hard to explain, to feeling now as an adult compared to the carefree happiness you feel as a child. And it was just such a happy memory, and to experience it so vividly brought tears to my eyes. And so of course now I'm crying in this past life regression. I'm not sobbing, but I've got some tears. And then next he has you go back and remember what it was like being in the womb. This is where it gets interesting, because this is where my skepticism came in, and I was like, there's no way. And that's not a memory that anybody can have, but apparently it is a very vivid memory that people can have if they are helped to properly access those memories. I was just imagining what it would have been like to be in the womb, essentially. He kind of asks you, I think, do you hear anything? Do you sense anything? Immediately I could smell cigarette smoke, and like in real time smell cigarette smoke, and there's no smokers in my home. I don't know if babies can smell in the womb. Actually, I'm gonna look that up right now. Okay, so consensus is it's kind of a 50-50. I guess some experts say possibly, some experts say no. Either way, I smelled a very strong smell of cigarette smoke, and my father was a smoker. And actually a lot of my family at that time were smokers, but that was a smell that I haven't smelled in a long time, but also not in my home. So that was interesting, and I was kind of like, oh, weird. But then I've got a very, very strong sense of Alice in Wonderland syndrome. If you don't know what that is, I will explain the definition to you now. This is something that I've experienced in the past, not so recently. As a child, a few times, it may be scattered here and there throughout my adulthood. So, Alice in Wonderland syndrome is a neuropsychological condition that causes a distortion of perception. People may experience distortions in visual perception of objects, such as appearing smaller or appearing larger or closer or further away than they actually are. Distortion may occur for other senses besides vision as well. It almost seems like hallucinations, but it's not considered a hallucination. What that means is that, for myself, I felt humongous. I felt huge. Like everything around me was a very, very tiny. I know that some people feel like this if they've got a fever. I am well. I'm not sick. I didn't have a fever. But I had this very overwhelming sense that I was too big, way too big for my space, which was hard to concentrate on the regression when I felt like this. But as it progressed, it became more clear that that was the main feeling of being in the womb, of being too big for your tiny space, which I was kind of like, whoa, because it wasn't just a thought of, I'm too big, I gotta get out of here. That's my baby impression. Did you like it? But it was more like a hallucination feeling that my body actually really felt very off during this. So that was really weird, and I was really trying to get rid of it because it's kind of a terrible feeling. It goes hand in hand with the hallucinations you might get with like a fever dream or something. It feels terrible. I think some people like it. I think within my research of it, some people think it's really cool. It makes me feel yucky. I was trying to really push past that so I could continue clearly with this meditation. And at that point, he was bringing me into the actual past life that I was supposed to be recalling. And it was really hard to get over and push past this Alice in Wonderland feeling. And I think that kind of affected the clarity at which I experienced the actual past life, but I did get a lot out of it, more than I expected. In the midst of me trying to push past that weird feeling, I was also trying to concentrate on what's popping up for the past life, and suddenly all these things started to come to mind, and I was, am I making these up? But it really took a direction that I really didn't think it would take. Sidebar, I've had experiences in the past that led me to think that possibly these were memories of past lives or something similar. And I've also had dreams that I thought maybe that was a memory of a past life. I was trying not to let those thoughts and experiences influence what I was going to experience in this meditation. And it actually went in a direction that I had never expected. Immediately what I saw was, I'm not sure where, if I had to pinpoint where, but it was like a cobblestone street in horse and buggy days. And I'm gonna say that's probably maybe like 1700s, 1800s-ish. I don't know, but I was seeing this, and I was seeing little, almost like fruit stands, like on this, at either side of this narrow street, lined with buildings. And then I realized that I was bare feet, and my feet were muddy and cold. And then I realized that I was wearing like a hooded cloak almost, but made out of like burlap. And it kind of dawned on me, and this was like only in the matter of like 5 minutes maybe, it dawned on me the fact that I was like living in poverty. Like I was the beggar on the side of the street, just sitting there in this doorway, watching the world go past me as I just sat there and was nothing. And then he asks you to very clearly, so don't let this scare you, without any pain, without any distress, and you can stop this at any time if it's too uncomfortable, remember how you passed away. And immediately my ego, my brain is like, oh, I'm gonna make up something. This isn't gonna be real. And no sooner was I thinking that than I knew that I had died of exposure, huddled in this doorway, and nobody gave two. I don't know if I was male or female or what I looked like. I just know that I was bare feet and my feet were muddy and cold, and what I was wearing, and that people saw me hobbling along wearing this cloak trying to stay warm, just like I was like the ant on the street that nobody paid attention to. It was very interesting. And yeah, like I knew that I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, I knew that I had died of exposure in that doorway and nobody cared. But it wasn't sad. I wasn't crying or sad. It was just a very kind of life. It was this feeling of you've done nothing with your time. Then it was time to start over again with a new life. And that was it for this regression. But he asks you, I think, at the end, what do you take away from this experience that you can apply to your life now that you think, you know, you were supposed to learn then that needed to be applied to your current life? The thing that made the most sense was that, and it just popped in my head, like somebody else was saying this, like I didn't come up with this on my own. Other people don't need to acknowledge your greatness or your existence in order for you to be great. With the people like walking past and just passing me by and not even noticing I was there, the whole point I think to learn was that you don't need other people to know you're someone, because if you know you're someone, then that's enough. That's just what popped into my head, and I was like, wow, that's very fitting for this lifetime for me. And it just all kind of like fell into place and made sense. That's my experience with Brian Weiss's past life regression. I know a lot of people are having very profound experiences with this. It's very safe. I didn't want to promote it without doing it first. So it is very safe, and you obviously you're not in a state of hypnosis where you can't, you know, yell the safe word and escape immediately if things become too uncomfortable. You're meditating. So you are able to open your eyes and end this whenever you want if it becomes too uncomfortable, because for some people, I do understand, you're going back into your own life first and slowly going back. So there's trauma that can be too jarring, and you decide, I don't want to do this anymore, or I'm going to do this a different time, and that's totally okay. But I highly suggest and recommend that you guys try this out and leave in the comments below what you experienced, because I'm super curious. Right now, as we speak, Alice is doing her past life regression, and we will be uploading her experience as well. So guys, please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content, if you enjoy content like this, and please make sure to click your notification bell so that you don't miss out when we upload. Thanks again for watching, and thanks again for clicking this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and keep on creeping on.